Make sure it's mutual.
Okay, we're going down.
2, 1.
So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your sweet and lovable host, Stacy Lynn Harp.
What's up, social? Let's start a revolution on the internet. Collaborate, you gotta give to get. Keep it classy, never trashy. And if you're looking for some help, just ask me. Yo, you got the recipe. It's got the formula for bringing out the best, you see. So step up and stand out with your girl, Schmittauer. And put this record on repeat, cause you know it's a classic. Stay for a while. You ain't gotta stress, you're rocking with the best boss. Stay for a while. Forget the competition, we on a mission. Listen, stay for a while. You ain't gotta stress, you're rocking with the best boss. Stay for a while. Just take a look, it's all in the book. I know you wanna vlog like me. I'll show you how to vlog like me, cause I'm a vlog boss. I know you wanna vlog like me. I'll show you how to vlog like me, cause I'm a vlog boss. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss, you. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss, you. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss. Ayo, dupes, show 'em how to do it.
VLOGBOSS sauce. VLOGBOSS sauce.
VLOGBOSS boss. VLOGBOSS boss. I know you wanna vlog like me. I'll show you how to vlog like me, cause I'm a vlog boss. I know you wanna vlog like me. I'll show you how to vlog like me, cause I'm a vlog boss. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss, you. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss, you. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss, you. You can vlog like me too, cause it's easy. I know you wanna vlog like me. I'll show you how to vlog like me, cause I'm a vlog boss. I know you wanna vlog like me. I'll show you how to vlog like me, cause I'm a vlog boss. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss, you. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss, you. Vlog like a boss, vlog like a boss, you. You can vlog like me too, cause it's easy.
That's all for today's socials. Thank you so much.
All right. Hey everybody.
Dennis Cheesy, well, hello. I'm Amy, better known as the vlog boss.
All right. Hello, everybody. We want to thank you for joining us today for this edition of Bible News Radio. And, you know, it's interesting because this isn't probably what you were expecting from Bible News Radio today. But you know what? That's all right, because we are on the cutting edge of video blogging, not only here on Periscope in the Christian world, but also just because we want to introduce you to people who actually are rocking it, totally rocking it. And that's a rapper, actually. Not the type of rapper that goes around a candy bar or something, but a rapper is in rapper, R-A-P-P-E-R. If you don't know who that is, that's Amy Schmittauer, who is our guest today. She's going to be with us for the full hour. And Randall, you want to go ahead and put her up on the screen just for a second so she can wave at everybody and say hi?
Hello. No one's ever called me a rapper yet, so that was super fun.
I like that. I thought that was cool.
I guess that's what it is now.
That's what it reminds me of. All right, so everybody, let me tell you a little bit about Amy. She is the Vlog Boss, in case you haven't figured that out. I love that song because it's like, you know, you want to vlog like me, I'm the Vlog Boss, you know. And I'm like, you're right, I do. I totally want to vlog like you.
Well, that worked out perfectly then. That's exactly what the plan was.
I've been brainwashed. Okay.
Oh, no.
All right, so Amy here is a new media triple threat YouTuber, keynote speaker, and author. She coaches people to go after what they want in life and leverage online video to make it happen. She is the creator of the popular YouTube series Savvy Sexual, not sexual, sexy, social, you know. We can talk about sex on Bible News Radio. It's no problem.
Yeah, of course we can.
And her channel boasts a global community and millions of views. Now in her first book, she shares her collection of strategies and tactics to help you vlog like a boss and get the attention you deserve. There you go. See, there it is right there. There it is. All right. So we're going to come right back to you in just a second. But we do have our evangelism quote of the day, everybody. As you know, this year we've been focusing on evangelism and encouraging you to get out of your comfort zone. So what I want to do is share our quote of the day. Today it's from Louis Palau, who is a very famous pastor and evangelist, actually, come to think of it. And he said, evangelism is not an option for the Christian life. And I don't know about you, but I believe that. That's why I want you to think about it today. So if you see this, make sure you tweet it out. And also want to welcome those of you on Periscope. My camera's moving. And also Blog Talk Radio. And thank you guys for sharing this in advance. I really do want to thank you for that. All right. So let's get to our interview with Amy Schmittauer. All right, Amy. You and
Stacy, let's do it.
We just met. And
we did.
I have to tell you, first of all, that song, Vlog Like a Boss. That is a rap song. Did you write that, or was it the other guy that wrote it?
No. Yeah, Dupes, who was featured in the video, he's actually the songwriter that I collaborated with on it. So I give him a lot of the credit because it was kind of a harebrained idea to write a song in the middle of a book launch in the first place. So I had a lot of things going on, and I was really excited to let him take over that role. But he did a really great job, and I couldn't have really done it as well as he could have just on his own. He's a fantastic songwriter out of St. Lucia, so it was really cool to be able to do that with him.
Well, it is cool. And, from what I understand, you actually have a love of singing, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been singing all of my life. I've been singing in choir as a kid, and my music teacher who really taught me a lot was my mom's best friend because my mom was a teacher in the school that I went to. I was in extracurricular choirs as I got older in like middle school and high school. I was in the high school quartet. And then it just it's interesting because now I'm a public speaker and I don't really get nervous when I speak, but for whatever reason, as much as I love to sing, I would always get so nervous about any real performance that I was doing. So it was never something that felt very natural to me, which is why I think it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go do that. Like that's the passion. I think you have like dreams about being a rock star, but it's a totally different thing when you actually try to do it. And for this purpose, it's like, whatever. This is just fun because I'm just promoting my book. So, I don't think I took it that seriously, but no, singing has just always been for fun. It's just always been in my life.
See, I think that's cool. You and I, actually, to be more proper, because we are English, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
we are.
Or American. Anyway, to be more proper, actually, I have sang it a lot in choir as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, let's have a moment. Hold on. A moment. It's a choir moment. Yep.
Choir was so special.
It was. It was. And actually, when I was in high school, I actually joined choir in high school. That was my first choir.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they always try to get me, like, as an adult, I went to church, and they're like, go be in the choir. And I'm like, I don't want to be in the choir. Yeah. I just kind of resisted church choir.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I would always be the girl singing in choir, or not singing in choir, singing in church, but not be in the choir. But I'd be singing in the pews with everybody, and everyone would turn around and look at me like, you should be in the choir. Like everyone would always turn around. Your daughter sings so nice. And I was just like, I like it from back here. I don't want to go stand up there.
I know. I hear you. I'm the same way. I'm kind of shy. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah. And I have to tell you, the first time I saw some of your videos, I have to tell you, first of all, you're great on video.
Thank you.
And I really I think one of the first videos that I saw of you was when you were basically telling people to stop putting you in Facebook groups because it irritates the crap out of you. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I so can relate, girlfriend, because I have all these people putting me in these Facebook groups, and I'm like, and that what? Just because you're a friend of mine, you think you could throw me into your stupid group about, cats who eat pudding? That's ridiculous.
I've got people that I didn't even, haven't spoken to since high school, if we even shared very many words there, that are adding me to groups. And they're like, hey, girl, I'm selling these things in this group. Like, feel free. And I'm like, oh, it's just really frustrating because the way the technology works, it's rude to leave, and then it's like you're there because they put you there. And so I don't know. I just wish it worked differently. And I thought it would be relatable for me to share that experience because I think a lot of people go through it. They're just put in groups all the time. I personally don't like to have put people in a Facebook group unless I let them know it exists, and if they have interest in it, they can do that. So anyway, that's my perspective on it. That's a really funny introduction to me because that's sort of like a ranty video, but
Oh, that's why I like that. I like rant videos. It's kind of what I do here on our show every day.
perfect.
Okay, so tell us a little bit. Okay, so you have over 3.5 million views on YouTube. So those of you who are listening on Blog Talk who might not go over to YouTube and have anybody in particular that you follow, or maybe you're not in business, but you want to be in business, this is why I booked Amy, because she's not only a great business person, and totally, hey, I have been promoting Christian books and in the publicity world of, authors and stuff for 12 years, all right? And I've seen a lot of Christians, their books being promoted by their publicity agents and blah, blah, and they have book trailers, etc., blah, blah, and they don't go anywhere. And Amy, I have to tell you, I've been watching you. I've been watching this thing. I actually used that service that helped get the thing pushed out for you on January 31st.
Oh yeah, Thunderclap. Yeah,
Thunderclap. I used that, and I just wanted to let you know that that I think your book launch rocks because you know that you have to, as an author, you have to do the promoting. The publicity company.
It's your job.
Yeah, you have to. And the very fact that you did videos leading up to it, you got Vince, also Vincenzo rather. You got him involved in it, and of course you're going the rounds. You're going on all these different podcasts that you probably never heard of. You're like, what? Bible News Radio? Why am I on here? But anyway, you're doing great. That's awesome.
Thank you. I've definitely been on a lot of shows I haven't heard of, but what's cool about it is I sent an email. The first round of interviews I took were to my email list of people that have been following me and the Savvy Sexy Social Brand since 2011. And I said, hey, if I've inspired you at any point and you started a show at any point, a podcast or a video show or something of that nature, or just a blog, do you just do blogs? Do you want to interview me? Because who better to do that during my book launch than the community of people that helped me even come up with the concept for a book? So that was really the first round of interviews I did. Those are the best interviews ever because my book launch was revolved around making my community love me even more than they already ever have. And I have, in my opinion, delivered quite a bit of content with 700 plus videos, 700-ish, 705, I think now, minus the 31 we did in January, which was all book launch. Like that's all stuff we did before there was like a promotion for a book coming out. So, I just thought if I want anyone to buy my book, it's the people that have been asking me for it. And if I want them to buy the book, I have to make them love me even more. And so it was all revolved around how do I make this relationship even stronger, because that's the word of mouth that's going to matter for me. And it's so cool that like when Stacy hears about me on someone's show and invites me on and we get to have this chat, that's amazing. And I love meeting new people and I love being exposed to new people. But it's even more cool that you've watched my videos and sort of like we can actually kind of jive on that. That is a much more fun interview for me because we get to actually have like a chat about this and dig into things a little bit more deeply. And that enhances a relationship, in my opinion, that sells the book in a bigger way. Books are very hard to sell these days. Books are very hard to sell. It's so sexy to just watch videos on the internet, read your Kindle, and if you get bored of it, then it's whatever. It's not staring you in the face. It's just sitting on your iPad or on your phone. And people don't buy books. So I feel very fortunate that it went bestseller in the first day on Amazon. And not only that, I'm actually getting tweets from people that they're reading it. Like getting people to buy a book, also getting people to read. It's 2017. That's tough. Also, I wrote a book about making videos, so it's even more difficult. But the response has been crazy. And I think it was because the launch was revolved around this is for you and you should feel that way. So,
amen. Well, and not only that, but first of all, I want to let you know, I already told you this, but I want to let you know that I actually did literally put out dough for your book. I did.
Which is so cool because I should have sent it to you, but I didn't. You bought it. That's so nice.
It's my job to get free books, which I'm a bibliophile, so I love books. And
Love it.
and as a host, I do show 5 days a week, actually 7 technically, but this show 5 days a week. I interview a lot of authors, and I don't read most of the books I interview. I have to trust endorsements and different people who do stuff. And the fact that I've seen you around on Vicky Fitch's show and just, I've watched your stuff. I was like, you know what? I got to get this book. And so I want to let you know that not only did I buy it, I am reading it, and I will continue to read it because if I actually pay for a book, that means I really want to read it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's like, I'm reading this thing. Yeah.
So tell people, first of all, where your main website is, because, and where they can get this book. And I know you have some bonuses, right? If people buy,
Yes,
I got
absolutely.
one. I got the bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. So the book website is vloglikeaboss.com. So it's very easy when you go there, sort of that's the step you kind of want to take before you go to Amazon, because you can see how you get the bonus. But essentially you are going to want to go to Amazon or whatever your favorite retailer is and purchase the book. And then you're going to use your order number to get the bonus that we have. There's a chapter in the book that's called The Authority Video Formula. And that's not the name of the chapter, but that's the focus that we talk about in chapter 7. And so I wanted to do something special around that chapter because it's fun to write, but it's way more exciting for me to explain the concept on video. So there's a mini course that comes along when you purchase a book, and that's what it's revolved around. So essentially the concept is, once you hit record to make your first video or every video after that, how can you make sure you're staying on track for the entire thing so it's the best possible project that you make every time? And I find that that's helped people so much with no matter how new they are or what they want to talk about, that they have a blueprint that will help them get there from the first moment of the video to the end that makes them feel more confident. So that's what it's all about. My main website, the blog, and where you can find all the videos, that's all at savvysexysocial.com. If you can say it or spell it.
Savvy, sexy, social, not sexual. Although,
I know, but
am I the
really
only
kind of messed that up, right? The sexy and the social put together really fast. Like, well, oops,
Yeah.
oh well.
so am I the only one that's ever said that?
Oh no. That's fewer. That's fewer. Usually people like to put the sexy first because it just jumps out at them. So they go sexy, savvy, social, which is like, whatever, however, well, we got the URLs figured out. So just find it.
All right. So Amy, tell everybody, one of the questions I'm curious about is, I know you've been doing this for since 2007 or so. Is that right?
Yeah. Video making. Yes.
Okay. So what got you into it? Because, you could do anything. And why videos?
Well, it wasn't like this master plan. I was working in the field that I thought I was going to work in forever, which was policy. I was lobbying and fundraising in a law firm and working for that sector. And that was what my full-time job was. I was in a wedding and I was just asked to be a bridesmaid. And I thought, this is so cool. What can I do to make the bride feel really special for asking me to be a bridesmaid? And I don't know how I came up with that. I just came up with making a video. At the time, a video camera for me was a little digital camera that you would take with you on vacation or whatever, and there was a video option on it. So I basically just took that and made a video of people wishing her well, and to explain it quickly. And I played it for her at the rehearsal dinner, and it was so cool because she was so emotional about this video. But it wasn't just that. It was that everyone in this room was emotional about this video. And I had made it for her. I didn't make it for anyone else, but everyone else was watching it. And whether they knew everybody in the video or if they even knew our hometown, because we had some settings in our hometown, there was maybe a little bit of emotional connection as to the content. But the concept overall, they were just like, this is so beautiful. And I just thought, how interesting. You can make a video for one person and have it affect so many. And that's what got me really interested in this storytelling process of video. That's how I discovered YouTube, because I was thinking, I want to make more of these. Where can I put them? Because I can't just keep burning DVDs and like putting them in the mail or something. Like that's not going to work for me because that's not a very shareable thing. And social media obviously was starting to pick up here, but
right.
YouTube was simply a tool for me at that time. And that's how I discovered that there were people sharing their life online and how they were editing things. I started learning, and that's how it all picked up from there. It was really just fun. And I realized by starting my own YouTube channel and by doing that just in the evenings and weekends, whenever I had time and I wanted to make something fun, I had learned quite a bit about building community. And so local businesses here in Columbus were asking me, this is really crazy. You're making videos on the internet. That's so cool. But like, we're just trying to figure out and wrap our minds around the fact that we need a Facebook page. What is this? Why do we need it? And so we're talking 2009, 2010. That's when sort of what we call today the side hustle happened. I started helping these businesses after my normal job, and that education of how to work with clients and what I had already learned about building community is what caused me to start Savvy Sexy Social, leave my job and start my own business, because I realized this is so fun. This is something I'm very passionate about. I would like to build my life around this work, and that's the life I went after.
Yeah, that's a great answer. And and what it shows too is that, even though here you were lobbying for policy and all this other stuff, which actually sounds like something I would do myself, because, I believe in politics and stuff, etc.
Absolutely.
Law. I thought about being a lawyer, but then I thought,
me too. That's
really...
how I started at the law firm. I was like, I'm going to go check this out. And then I was like, I don't think I want to be a lawyer, but this seems pretty cool overall.
Yeah. Well, I decided not to be a lawyer because I didn't like political science. I just thought, man, this is boring. Boring.
Not fun.
Yeah, In fact, even in the world of social media and like Periscope and stuff, you probably know who Mitch Jackson is.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably the coolest lawyer I've ever met. Because he engages social media and he knows how to look into a camera and all that. And that's one of the things too I want you to address. A lot of people are afraid of being on video. And I remember when I started my company 12 years ago, it was just mainly podcasting at that point, and of course, when Periscope came into the world a year and a half ago, I got on that and I started to begin to look into the camera, to stare deep into your eyes,
Hello.
And because, you can talk to the camera because there's somebody on the other side of it, right?
Right.
But a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people say, well, I don't like hearing my voice on tape. I don't like seeing myself on video, blah, blah. I'm too fat. My voice is this, blah, blah, etc. How do you get over it? Because, it's not like I started this naturally. It's not like when I was a kid, I thought, ooh, I'm going to go on Periscope, because Periscope didn't exist.
Of course.
What do you do?
The answer is, if it's about you, then you're not doing it for the right reasons. I mean, you and I would not be here right now if we didn't think our message needed to be received by one person or a community of people. But we're thinking of that one person that just really needs to hear what we're talking about. So the people that get past the hearing the voice back, which is tough. I remember I had a boombox as a kid, and we would play like Radio Star, and we would just like hit the record button on a blank tape, and me and my sister would record a fake radio hour or something. And I remember listening to that back and just being horrified by the sound of my own voice. You have to go through that period where you're like, yep, that's where I sound like, and that's what I look like. And you go through that. But the bottom line, and the only thing that's going to matter, is when you say, this needs to happen. People want this, people need this, and I know how to deliver it in a way that's different. And maybe I need to practice in order to get to a place of being very effective, but I'm going to have to learn what I sound like and learn what I look like. And trust me, somebody that edits herself, I do all my own editing. Someone who edits her own face and voice on a very regular basis in HD and sometimes 4K is difficult to deal with sometimes, but you're just like, that's what I look like, I guess, you just move on like that. That's just a fact of life. And when you're having to watch yourself back, you learn a lot of things of what you want to do and what you don't want to do, especially with a camera. But more importantly, you figure out what the best balance is of you representing your brand as positively as possible to deliver the message that's so important that you're even doing this in the first place. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that will knock down all the fears. What do I look like? What will people think of me? What's the return? Is my gear good enough? All of that gets knocked down once you say, I'm thinking of the person. I'm doing this for them. If I don't do this, maybe someone else will. But I want it to be me. Mm-hmm. And if that's important, then your voice is the only one you get. Your face is the only one you get, unless you want to go change that. I suppose you could. But why? You just do with what you have.
Amen. All right. Hey, anybody in the chat room, do you guys have any questions for Amy Schmittauer, who is our guest? Those of you who are listening to the archive, don't forget you can go also to her website. You do have vloglikeaboss.com. People
That's
can
right.
go there. And that's V as in video, log, in case you've never heard that term before. Vlog. That would be so hard for me to sing because I'd be like...
Oh, it was tough. I
Was it?
stumbled over my words a few times. That's for sure.
Yeah, okay. All right, so go to vloglikeaboss.com. Does anybody have any questions? I actually think somebody asked earlier, and I don't even know how this pertains, but I think I saw Melanie ask if you were going to be in my Daily Disciples Facebook group. Which,
Sure.
if you want, you're more than welcome to come
Only if
in.
you ask me nicely and don't just pull me in.
Yeah, I think that's where that question...
That's a reference. That's a reference. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a group where I put myself in all the time and stuff. All right, so we've gotten through this. Now you actually have a dog named Lucy, right?
Yeah.
Now, do you incorporate her in many of your videos? Because I have 2 dogs and I love dogs, and you know, and a lot of people think, oh, just because they have the cutest dog on the planet, that dog can be like totally famous and stuff, and or does it just turn out that Lucy ends up being on the floor and you just happen to be there?
I don't think I leveraged Lucy as much as maybe I could have. But honestly, like she's my coworker. That's pretty much it. And if not for her, I mean, like I've had Lucy since she was 8 weeks old.
Aw.
So that puts me like at 18. So we grew up together. And so in a lot of ways, we screwed each other up, but in other ways, we really have motivated each other. And with her separation anxiety, I always wanted to stay home with her. So every day I would go to that policy job, I would just think, oh, I just hate leaving you every day. I hate it. And so I just really, I think I froze. Did I freeze?
Yeah, but it's okay. Don't worry. You'll unfreeze soon. Look at that beautiful, like with her eyes shut. And the thing is coming. Don't worry. You can put the whole thing back on me,
There you
Bareface.
Yeah.
There you go.
While she's coming back into the video world, you just hear her voice through the ether here, but you can still see me. Here I am, everybody. Anyway, I think we lost her.
Well,
Am I gone?
No, okay, I
we
hear
have
you.
my voice.
Okay.
Oh, we'll see if the video comes back. No, but Lucy always motivated me to want to work from home. So if anything, she's the reason I started my own business after all that, because I was sick of just leaving her. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could just decide my own schedule so I could cuddle my dog whenever I want? So
Amen.
that's why she's ever featured in a video. She motivated me to get here. So
See, and that's very important in dogs with separation anxiety. I own 2 Bichon Frises, and those are the classic, Velcro dog where, if they're not laying on your feet, sitting in your lap, on your head, whimpering or whatever, then who knows where they're at,
yeah.
and all that. So
Exactly.
let's go ahead, Randall, and let's do our sponsors. Maybe Amy can get her video back. Maybe you might have to hang up and call back in order to get it to come back. So we'll just go ahead and thank our sponsors right now while Amy's getting reconnected on video. Ariel Ministries is the ministry that we love and support. They support us, and their goal is to seek to evangelize the Jews and Gentile believers alike. I know what I'm saying here. Anyway, and you can go to ariel.org. You can save 20% when you use the coupon code Bible News. We are currently using their book, Yeshua, The Life of the Messiah from a Messianic Jewish Perspective in our evening in our evening service. I feel like I'm in church or something. Yeah, this is our morning service, and we use the Yeshua book in the evening service. Anyway, you can go to ariel.org and use the coupon code Bible News, and you can get Volume 2, because we will be getting into Volume 2 as well. But you can get The Life of the Messiah from a Jewish Perspective, Messianic Jewish Perspective, Volume 1 first, and then you can buy 2 later. And I know that they're going to be both on Kindle. Also, don't forget, Ariel has their Messianic School of Jewish Studies. The Home Office has asked me to tell you about that so that if you're interested in getting a deeper education biblically, then they provide the missing link in biblical education. Just go to Ariel.org and then look for the tab at the top of the page that talks about their Messianic School of Jewish Studies. It's really good. I think Amy's having some problems here. And then don't forget also sparknaturals.com is the essential oil that we recommend. It's high quality essential oil at affordable prices. You can use the coupon code John316 and save 10% off your order whenever you order anything. And they always have sales. And in fact, I know they're going to be having some sales for Valentine's Day. If you happen to be listening to this before Valentine's Day, you might want to go over to sparknaturals.com and check out what the sales are, and then use John316 and save 10% on top of the sale item. Okay. All right. So do that. And then, of course, we have our February book offer. Trusting God by Jerry Bridges. This is in partnership with Tyndale House Publishers. Tyndale House rocks, just so you know, named after the guy Tyndale who helped get the Bible printed. Anyway, but Trusting God by Jerry Bridges is actually, here, let me tell you about this. Let me give you a little synopsis of this book. Why is it easier to obey God than to trust Him? Because obeying God makes sense to us. In most cases, His laws appear reasonable and wise, and even when we don't want to obey them, we usually concede that they are good for us. But the circumstances we find ourselves in often defy explanation. Before long, we begin to doubt God's concern for us or His control over our lives. We ask, why is God allowing this, and what have I done wrong? During such a time of adversity, Jerry Bridges began a thorough Bible study on the topic of God's sovereignty, which is what this book is about. What he learned changed his life, and in trusting God, he shares the fruit of that study. As you explore the scope of God's power over nations, nature, and even the details of your life, you'll find yourself trusting Him more completely, even when life hurts. And this actually has a study guide in it that before this book, when it was published many years ago, they sold that separately. So this is actually a combining book of the study guide and the paperback book, Trusting God, by Jerry Bridges, and it's published by NAB Press, sponsored by Tyndale House. So if you go to BibleNewsRadio.com/give and donate, USA only, we'll go ahead and get you on a list to get that. And thank you guys already, those of you who've already donated. And you're on the list already, so I want to thank you for that. Is Amy back, or did she go? She gone?
Gone for the moment.
Okay, maybe you can call her then.
All right.
Okay, you do. Meanwhile, we also have our book club. See, good thing we have some announcements, huh? On Sunday night, our book club is, we're looking at The Book of Mysteries by Rabbi Jonathan Cahn, who is also a Messianic rabbi. We meet Sunday night at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Call connecting. Calling Amy Schmittauer.
And Amy is not in the book club with us, but she probably could be if she wanted to be.
This is what happens when you run everything from a single computer.
I know.
Hello.
That's funny. Anyway, I'm almost done with my last commercial. Our last promo is for the book club, The Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn. You can join us Sunday night on Zoom, where we meet video chat about this book at 8 p.m. Central Time. All right. All right. So there you go. So you missed all the commercials, Amy, which that's fine.
Dang, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Glad you're back. I don't
On
know.
mobile, I see.
I am on mobile. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. We can, what? I don't know.
Something just happens with my computer. It just decides to stop. It's just like, no.
That's okay. Well, you know what? That's all right though, because in the world of online media, you have to learn to roll with the punches, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so
That's right.
Yeah. So Melanie's saying maybe we should read Vlog Like a Boss in book club. It's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
I think so too. Okay, so all right. So let me ask you this. I have a couple of A-list guest questions. And you are probably the third YouTube celebrity that I've interviewed. You're the third. but you're
Wow.
my favorite so far.
Oh, okay, good.
Just-
I was worried.
Just so you know, you're the first vlogger, like
Okay, sweet.
vlog boss. Okay,
Yeah,
I have
well,
to ask
obviously.
you. Okay, so you're the boss. So how did you come up with that moniker? Because that's pretty cool. Because you if I were to look at you, I wouldn't go, oh my gosh, that I just walked by the vlog boss at the store.
It was honestly just when I started my company. I was freelancing when I first left my full-time job. And then when I started the company, I was like, what do I want this to be about? And so when I sort of filed all the paperwork, I just knew that I wanted to teach people how to video blog. And I wanted them to do it in a way that they were going to be the boss of what they were doing and taking ownership in that message. So in 2012, I filed for Vlog Boss Studios because I thought that's what I teach people how to do. And so it wasn't like I'm the vlog boss. It was like I was teaching the vlog boss. So because of all that time that passed, I guess it was like, well, why don't I just leverage that and then I'll be the vlog boss writing the book about it. So
I think that's great.
it's fun. Keeps it interesting.
My moniker is sweet and lovable, and you know, it is what it is. How do you leverage that?
I feel like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there'd be like candy and like stuffed animals.
Yeah, like Winnie the Pooh or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm getting. All right. So because you are a celebrity, I have to ask you a A-list guest question.
Okay.
Okay. Now, these have nothing to do with anything important, but this might actually make a great video at some point. And I bet you hear that all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
I bet you do, because I get pitched all the time on this show. Oh, I have a great guest that come on your show, and I'm thinking, do you even know what my show's about? They're like, no, most of the time they're not. They have no clue what it's about. And I'm like, Bible News Radio, get a clue. It's about the Bible news and radio. But today it's about you, the vlog boss. Okay, so here's the thing. Do you eat eggs, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. They're great. They're high in protein. They're God's
They
little
are.
protein balls. They rock.
Love them.
Do you prefer white or brown eggs?
I always buy white, but sometimes I'll change it up and get brown.
Yeah, I think they both taste the same.
They're the same, I think.
Yeah, the shell.
That's what my mom said. My mom grew up on a farm, so my mom was like, just get the white.
Yeah,
the same.
The shells on the white are harder. They are.
Oh.
But I had somebody on Facebook, actually, a fellow therapist, actually was ranting and raving one day about how people take the eggs out of the carton. And so he posed this on his Facebook page, and he asked, how do you do it? Do you actually, like, pretend this is the egg carton, and the eggs are in there? Like, when you take it out of the fridge, do you take the eggs out and then you crack them, or do you rearrange them, or, like, what do you do?
We make omelets every morning, so I just take the carton out and I just like pick one up, crack it, throw away pick one up, crack it, and it's usually a 3-egg omelet. I don't rearrange them or anything. Although I do when I'm putting it back in the refrigerator, because we have to make sure it's level. So that when I go and grab it again, it's not going to like tip to one side or something, and then there will be a disaster.
See, you're like most normal people. Okay, and you actually throw the eggshells away. You don't like put it down the disposal.
No. Oh my God, no. They go in the trash.
Now, you would be surprised, honestly, when I started asking this question, and I've asked some very important people this question because I want to know. You know, the first thing that shocked me was that people like were shocked that I actually put the eggs in the garbage disposal, the shell.
Yeah.
I
just assume that if it's like a manageable thing you can put in the trash and it's not going to like get too smelly, it should just go in the trash. Although my fiance does put a lot more things in the disposal than I do.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I probably wouldn't have opted for that. Like, I probably would have opted for the trash in that case. And so we sort of like have a conversation about it.
It's very important. You know, okay.
And I think it is.
So here's the second question. And by the way, congratulations on
Thank you.
your engagement. Can we see
Thank
your
you.
ring? Because, you know. All right. Do you want to share how he proposed? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Was it
we went out to
romantic?
dinner. We went out to dinner here in Columbus, and then I thought dinner was over, and I took my heels off and I put my flat shoes back on, and we were gonna walk home. And he's like, "No, let's not walk home. Let's walk over here by the river." And I was like, "It's cold. I don't want to walk by the river." And he finally got me down there kicking and screaming and proposed. And then, my girlfriend was kind of like hiding somewhere taking our picture.
Aw.
So it was really sweet. It was really nice.
Aw. So Vincenzo Landino, right?
That's right.
Is your future man, your future husband. Have you guys set a date yet? Don't you hate that
Not
question?
yet.
Not yet?
I know we get that a lot. We do. But the good news is we were kind of waiting for the book. That was the only date that was really firm on our calendar. The book came out on January 31st, and now we're talking about everything and figuring out when we're going to get married.
Well, it will be fun. Marriage rocks, just so you know.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. All right. So, and speaking of your fiance, you guys also you actually have this other company, Aftermark, that you work with too, right? Tell everybody about that, because it's not spelled the way that you would think.
Oh, it's Aftermark, but it's with a Q,
Right?
not a K. And that's essentially the company that we founded together that helps. Vlogboss Studios is geared toward a much smaller, more entrepreneur, one-person business type of client, where Aftermark is for medium to large size that's working on a strategy with their internal team, and they bring us in to sort of design a video campaign for them. So we do a little bit of production, but it's mostly just strategy. So that's what Aftermark is all about. More video everywhere.
Yeah, see that, and that's very cool. That's so cool, because you know what, we are a video generation, or what was it you said in one of your videos? I think you said we're a documentary generation.
Yeah, we're documenting.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you explain this to old people? Like my dad, he's 88. He lives in assisted living. And I show him my phone and stuff, and I videotape and put him on, Snapchat and Instagram and everywhere. And he's like, a part of him's like, I kind of think that's kind of cool. But then the other part of him is kind of like, why are you doing this? Because this is stupid,
Yeah.
He would never say that, but.
Sure. I don't know. I feel like I explain to the degree I think somebody wants to know. I actually find probably somebody that age is more interested in what it is and why it works versus like someone my dad's age where he's like, what, this is so dumb. Like my dad he sells cars and he has a flip phone and he doesn't use a smartphone. But what he does do really well is if we don't know something, he'll just say, why don't you go Google it or something? And he's really good at that. He understands that. But other than that, he really is not interested in that sort of thing. And so I always feel like no matter who you're talking to, it doesn't matter what you're talking about or if you're even selling them anything. If they simply want to know what you're doing, I think you have to meet them at their level of understanding and say, okay, like what do you know? Well, Snapchat is sort of like going to a party. There's people there. They're paying attention to what you're doing and what you're talking about. And so I simply just made a video about what I'm talking about, and I sent it to that party. And they still want to hang out with me, so I'm still hanging out there. I mean, like, I think you just have to explain it to somebody in a way that makes sense to them. You can't just say, like, it's this hot new technology, because if that's not going to matter to somebody, if you're really trying to explain it. So that's what I do. Honestly, though, I think the bigger thing is always going in on the benefits of something rather than these intricate details and features. And when you do that, they get it. They don't get it because you're not going to get it until you actually put your hands on it and really understand how it works.
Right.
But when you explain, like, I can connect with anyone all over the world by simply recording this message, and they can get it on their phone, and their phone will notify them when I have a new message. Like, that's pretty cool when you're explaining that to someone, like that used to be like when the mailman would put the mail in the mailbox. It was like, okay, now I know somebody's trying to deliver a message to me, right? Like that still exists, but that's certainly not efficiency today. Like,
that's true.
So that's what I would do. No matter who I'm talking to, I'm thinking about how does their mind tick what are they understanding of in terms of these types of communications, and how can I explain it that way?
Yeah, that's very good. Now, you mentioned your dad was a car salesman. I actually used to work in a car dealership a long time ago, but you dedicated the book to your mom, Jackie.
I did.
So
I sure
tell
did.
us about your mom, because obviously this is your first book. You dedicate it to your mom, and you say, I just read what the dedication is. I might cry because it's so touching. It says here, to my mom, Jackie. I'm saying it right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for teaching me independence, work ethic, and focus. More importantly, thank you for showing me that I can do anything. I love you.
Aw, yeah.
That's so nice.
Well, I mean, like, she did that stuff, so that's really important. I feel like that's the reason why I was able to do anything today, and she's definitely been sort of the guiding light in everything that I've done. So she's a teacher. Like I said, she taught at the elementary school that I went to, and she still teaches for that same school district. So I was always the teacher's daughter, and I still am. So now I'm the teacher's daughter that wrote a book, and everyone's like, woo, somebody that went to our school district wrote a book. So it's kind of fun. But she was a tech teacher before it was like cool.
Oh, okay.
Like at a time where Apple computers, I remember there were Apple computers in our computer lab. That's when apparently they were moderately affordable for the school district, because now there are not Apple computers in the computer lab. And this is not like this is a really nice school district. So she always had technology around me, and she sort of let me figure it out. I remember when we got our first computer at home, and it was a big Gateway computer, and it took up like half of the living room. And my dad just thought it made us look really, really fancy, but he didn't want anyone to touch it. And my mom was like, no, they have to learn how to use it. So if not for her, I definitely wouldn't have, built my first little websites on the internet when I was in high school, or have learned how to use the first social networks like AOL Instant Messenger and things like that. So she's taught me a lot in that regard, but in other ways, just simply work ethic. My mom works really hard, and she shows up and she does what she says what she's going to do. But she will also say, no, I'm not going to do that. And I think that's where I've learned a lot of my positive strengths from.
That's very cool. And you have a sister too, so
that's right.
So you have a very strong mom role model, which is very cool.
Yes.
And I want to let people know. Look, on YouTube, there's a lot of different people who are, who made it big, I guess, if you will. And Amy is one of these, and it's really cool because But I want to dispel this myth here. It's not like this happened overnight. And I bet you that drives you crazy too. I mean, I remember when I hit 1 million downloads on my podcast, and I was all like, hey, I hit 1 million downloads on my podcast. I got all these really famous people on my show. Oh, I'm so great. I don't really feel that way. I kind of feel like it's hard to believe it happened,
Yeah.
But then people go, well, it's so easy for you to get blah, blah, or whoever on your show.
Exactly.
And I'm like, but yeah, I've been doing this since 2005.
Right.
Here it is 2017. That's 12 years. That's a long time. So
It's a long time.
How do you how do you you've had over 3.5 million, probably getting closer to 4 million now. I know. My husband keeps telling, I'm looking at her, not the camera, but I'm trying to look at both of you, the camera and you. But anyway, so how do you tell people, look, you did over 700 videos, and that's not like that took you like 5 days to do that,
Right. That's right. I think the biggest thing, and that's only 700 videos on one channel. I've also worked on a lot of other content for clients. I've also had other YouTube channels. I've also had videos that aren't front facing. The thing that people really forget is how it's not only easy for me to do stuff like you said, in the sense of like, hey, I have social proof here, come on my show. It's also, it's so easy for you to make a video because you're just so good. You were born for it. So there's a couple of different things that I get hit with, but that is absolutely the time to remind people I have been doing this a really long time, and I had to hear my voice back enough, and I had to watch myself back enough, and I had to get feedback from the comments enough to see, like, how do I get better? How do I get better? And I'm still not as good today as I'll be tomorrow or 10 years from now. So that's so critical for people to see, because they don't want to get started because they're so convinced they can't, because they just won't be good enough. And that's the best time for me to say, like, you go back and watch my old stuff. Like,
Yeah.
somebody, go back and listen to your first podcast, right? We were completely different humans and with different experience and different procedures and all those things at that time. And it's okay to change and get better. And that's the goal. And so you can't do that unless you start. And you certainly can't do that unless you click publish. A lot of people confuse practicing with, I'm going to record this, I'm going to watch it back, I'm going to puke a little bit in my mouth and be really upset because it sucks, and then I'm going to delete it. And that's not going to help you move forward. That's not really reviewing your work and just trying to work with what you have and push it out, because whatever you did could help someone. So even if it's not the best work you ever do, at least it did something in that moment. And especially in a place like YouTube, because it's so archive driven. Some of my most popular content is years old, and it's bringing in tons of traffic every month. And what if I wouldn't have done that because I wasn't good enough, or my hair didn't look good enough that day, or I didn't have the right lights?
Right.
I mean, you have to do it. And so that's the only reason why I have, opportunities coming my way in any capacity.
Yeah, and I want to make a point too, because I think, our show is very archive driven too, especially on Blog Talk Radio. We have I think about 1,500 shows archived on there, and that's only part of the ones, and we took a whole bunch off, and over like 30,000, 40,000 downloads a month overall. But our current 30 days is only like 6,000, which doesn't sound like a lot, but after that 30-day mark, it hits and goes into the 5 digits as opposed to stuff. So, but the thing I wanted to point out too is that you can't. You're not going to be perfect. And I remember my very first A-list guest, and the guest that actually, I was like, wow, I can't believe I got Amy Grant on my show. Amy Grant's a pretty big name. In 2005, when nobody was on the internet the way they are today, I was able to get her on our show. Amy, the day that I had her on, my tape recorder broke. And this was way back. This was before I was live streaming actually on Blog Talk Radio. I was actually taping. And so the day she calls me up, I have a speakerphone, and I was shocked I got the interview. Okay. I'm like, had maybe 100 people come to my website a month. So, this was shocking that Amy would come on my show. So I took I think it was a micro cassette recorder or something, and I had my speakerphone with Amy on it, and I was like, okay, and I hit play, and I went ahead and I did my first interview. It was half of it was reading her bio because I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I had like this 6-page bio, and then the other half was talking to her, and I went ahead, I launched it, I put it up online, and the first comment I got on it was a complete insult from somebody who had a bigger platform, thought he was all great, blah, blah, told me he couldn't believe I treated an A-list guest that bad. The quality was so poor, etc., blah, 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 blah. And I felt like, I thought, really? And then, because it was up on there, the Friends of Amy fan group, they got a hold of my interview, and they just they exploded. They didn't care about the quality of it. They cared about what the content was. And I go back, I listen to my shows, the content, what I delivered, how I delivered it with confidence, passion, conviction. That's what got people to begin to listen, not because it was so great and so polished, but because it was real. And, what was really cool about Amy's people was that, I apologized. And I'm like, this really sucks. And I thought that I would never get another interview again. And you know what? She's come back on my show after that.
That's so cool.
When it was really better. But, be real, right? Be real. Right. That's what I like about you, because even though you edit your stuff, you're still real. It's not like you have
absolutely.
It's not like you have a script.
And I don't script. And I think that people underestimate the power of that too. It can feel like you're all over the place, but if you have a blueprint, if you have structure, if you know what the heck you're talking about, or about what you do and what you're passionate about, just be you, because that's going to be the best version of that video and anything you do going forward. And it's only going to get better from there. So that's a really good point. Gosh, that's so cool. I want to go back and listen to that interview with you and Amy now. I just feel like it would be such a passionate moment for you.
Yeah, it was. Actually, I should probably put it up. I need to revamp my site and put up all the famous people that, I mean, you know, everybody knows on my site, just because, you know. But, okay, so one last question, because I know our time's getting close. How do you deal with trolls? Because I actually just had a troll in here in our Periscope who was so mature and just saying stuff like, you know what, my hand is brown because I just pooped, and you know, real mature stuff like that.
Yeah,
just so totally you know. Normal. And so how do you deal with people like that? Because on YouTube, I would expect you get a lot of feedback.
Well, here's the thing. I have done in my opinion, a pretty good job of targeting my viewer. So quantity hasn't been exactly where my head has been as much as who I'm talking to and who I'm making this for. So I actually am very fortunate. My YouTube comments are really positive most of the time, but there are, of course, those like bad eggs that are going to be in there. And that's okay, because I just think about where I am and that I believe in myself, and I think of myself in a high place, because whether or not I'm there, I need to think of myself as there so that I can always be reaching to that place. And I feel they're probably in a low place, like in the basement of their mom's house playing on the internet. And so that's just, I'm sorry. Like sometimes you just have to go, look, this has nothing to do with my day and what I'm doing, and everything to do with them. So, you know, it takes a lot for me to block someone. I think you have to say some pretty profane stuff for me to block you. Live streaming is a little bit of an interesting animal, because it's like, like you're constantly looking at it while you're making the content. It's not after, which is what it is really for me. So you just have to have your own policy and decide, what is that policy? I actually talk about that in the book. And to actually prep for that chapter, I went to a video I knew I would have a higher rate of negativity on, because I got a little ranty that day, and I thought, why don't I go there when I know it's not going to be all rainbows and sunshine, so that I can really talk about what troll management looks like in the book. And so it's really good. I definitely recommend reading it, but the bottom line is you just got to know what your policy is, because at the moment it's happening, you're going to feel such an inclination to cry, block, do all the things that like make you want to quit. But it's like, that person has zero impact on you. Zero, if you don't let them. And so that's all it comes down to, is you just decide what your policy is as a brand, and you say, okay, in these cases, we do this. Nothing, you know, block, address it, don't address it. You know, just decide what it is, and then hit it head on however you've decided. Don't wing it. I think that's where people get in trouble, is they don't plan for it to happen, and you have to plan for it to happen. Like, period. Negativity, not just in the comments of live streams and videos. Think about Yelp reviews. Businesses don't plan for that all the time. And then they somehow get screwed over by somebody that's having a bad day, or they really did mess up. And sometimes you just have to know what the situation is so you can manage it properly. You have to have policies for that.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's very wise. Okay, so somebody just came in our chat room and said, who is Amy Schmittauer? So tell us who you are, vlog boss. Yeah, that's who you are. But no.
Sure.
In closing,
I'm a self-proclaimed vlog boss, but I call myself a new media triple threat, because in 2017, it's very important to have many ways of delivering your message through media. And so I'm a speaker and an author and a YouTuber, and I help people go after the life they want, and I share content around that.
It just said 90 seconds. That's all.
I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah. Okay. So that answer your question? Are there? All right. Okay. So yeah. So everybody go to vloglikeaboss.com, especially if you're somebody who, you know, who's interested in getting on video, and, you know, you do have a message. You know, I mean, here our main message is the gospel, right? That's what we do here.
60 seconds.
And we do. I mean, we have a YouTube channel. But you know what? Amy's got a bigger one, and so you should go visit hers. And those of you who are watching, look at the book. See, there it is. That's her right there. All right. So, Amy, thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciated you. You rock. You did great. And even though Skype crashed, who cares? Right? See, you rolled,
I don't care. I'm
like
still here.
All right. As I always say at the end of every show, everybody be bold, stand up, and go with God. You know why? Because He loves you. And we'll be back later tonight on Periscope.
Ten seconds.